And we're the UFO Bros, and we're here with Travis Taylor from Skinwalker Ranch, also lead scientist on the UAPTF report. Is that correct?
That is true. I was the chief scientist for the UAP task force.
That's absolutely incredible. I wish you could share with us what the public isn't seeing. Is there anything worth?
Well, you know, I can't violate the non-disclosures in my security clearance and stuff that I had. But what I can tell you is, it was a purely 100% serious investigation. And here's the thing that a lot of people don't know: we were never funded. While the National Defense Authorization Act was signed and created, and it did in 2020 say there was $20 million to be appropriated. The Senate Appropriations Committee never appropriated the funds. So the task force, everybody was working as other duties as assigned volunteer for the task force work, and the only few people like Jay Stratton and there were two other people that actually they were transferred, that was their full-time job.
Yeah. I
was still supporting my day job with the Army, and Jay asked my boss if the Army would volunteer my time to be on the task force. So it was never funded, and the public doesn't know that. They think we had all these millions of dollars.
You heard it here.
All this stuff, and yeah, so that's something that I think is a misinterpretation, right?
Mm-hmm. You know, with Skinwalker Ranch, I want to get to that with you because I know we've only got a little bit of time. What do you say is there's a new season that's going to be coming
in
up?
April? Yes.
In April. Are we going to see anything in April that is going to change the skeptics' minds?
Well, you know, skeptics are going to be skeptics. You know, my dad used to tell me about, Benjamin Franklin used to say, a man convinced against his will is at another opinion still. So the skeptics are always going to be skeptics, even if a spacecraft landed in their yard and came to their house for dinner. But yes, in season 4, last summer between July and November, we did experiments that were so complex. The last experiment we did, I was telling somebody last night that I counted, there were 1,016 moving parts in the experiment. There were so many people there, so many things. It was amazingly huge experiment, and we got data, pictures, video of things that it's going to just. And we're not there's nothing made up. It's all in the moment when it's happening.
It's a big season. It sounds
and it's 14 episodes actually.
Wow.
And every single one of them, there's something just bizarre and fantastic that happened.
Great. So it sounds like we're getting more evidence.
Yes.
This next coming season. Because I know the skeptics, they have their negative thoughts or negative viewpoint of the sort of science you're doing there. And I always say, I'm like, people are spending money to actually do science. You think you'd want to support this endeavor.
Yeah.
And, you know, Brandon, is it
Fugel?
Fugel. Brandon Fugel. We hope to get to meet him someday. We
yeah.
have some basic back and forth.
Well, we'll see if we can set that up. Brandon's really good to talk.
We want to come out to Skinwalker Ranch. We'll have to see.
I know we don't let just anybody there because number one, there's an experiment going on, and it can be dangerous. So.
Well, maybe someday.
Yeah.
Maybe someday. Well, shall we move on to what we wanted to show you, which is
sure.
In 2008, a UFO crashed in Needles, California. Yeah, it's the most recent crash that we've heard of. And so we actually worked with a land surveyor that had detailed maps of the approximate area that this object crashed. It came screaming out of the sky in the middle of the night, blue light, crashed on the banks of the Colorado River.
Wow.
Yeah, the whole city, or the whole town of Needles saw it coming and crashing. So we were able to kind of, you know, zero in on the approximation of like where it might have crashed. And we found this. Joe, you want to tell them about it?
Yeah, it's we went to the surveyed site where they said that the crash had happened, and we went out, took our metal detectors, and we went and we checked around. We checked out in this one area, and it was this piece of weird metal that we pulled out of the ground.
No kidding. Well, let's see it. Yeah. Now, have you guys checked it for radiation and everything?
Yeah, we used a Geiger counter, so.
Oh, look at this. How about that?
We just would love to get your opinion on anything strange or weird about it. Because we did show this to astronaut Mark Kelly, and he said that the yellowing on this side sometimes could indicate that metal's been to space. That's what he had explained it to us.
Yeah, I agree with this right here. So, did you guys hit it with a torch or anything?
No.
No.
So I need to figure out what it is, but this was hot enough that it became molten. So that right there is clearly it got really, really hot right here. It doesn't, just from looking at it, doesn't look like anything exotic. But I can't say that for real without taking scientific measurements, right?
Right.
We'd need to hit it with a X-ray fluorescent spectrometer to see what it actually is made of. It feels like it's got maybe tin in it, kind of like solder.
Oh, okay.
Right. And this oxidation though looks more like it's aluminum. It's not copper. I'm pretty sure it's not copper. So, and where did you get this? I mean, what's the custody, the line of custody for it?
We pulled it out of the sand.
You literally dug it out of the ground.
Yeah, we
yourselves.
literally dug it out of the ground of ourselves.
And this is where the alleged event happened, right?
Yeah,
Where it crashed.
We're just wondering if, let's say, even if it wasn't an extraterrestrial craft, but maybe even just something from one of the aerospace companies.
So, if it were a rocket or a spacecraft or something like that, they would have certainly come to collect it, right?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, and they could have missed a part. This does actually, now that you mention it, I've built rockets out of thin material about like this, and you make it in a structure called monocoque, where it's like a balloon. So the fuel, when you fuel it up, it makes it rigid. Like you can stand on a full Coke can.
Oh yeah.
But if you empty it and you stand on it, it'll collapse, right?
Yeah.
So it's possible this was part of a rocket tank, a spacecraft structure, or something. But it clearly, this is the most interesting part to me. It was clearly hot enough to become molten, because that's where it got hot and melted and ran.
Yeah, and we noticed there's no scorching. It's almost as if it blew off something, is what we thought maybe.
And it looks torn, right?
Yeah.
All this, and why does this look like it's rolled over and crimped, right? Why that? So I find it's intriguing. I would suggest you guys take it to a university that has an XRF. Is what the machine's called. It's a little handheld, looks like a laser gun, and it'll tell you what elements are in it. And
That's the next step then.
We have one out at the ranch. If you guys ever come out to the ranch, bring it with you.
Yeah, if we ever make it out there, yeah. That's our next step. We figured, well, before we actually invest any money, let's have an expert take a look and see. Somebody who deals with flying rockets.
Yeah.
You're like the rocket man.
It could be part of a rocket or an aircraft or a spacecraft, but it got so hot, it makes me think that maybe it was part of a rocket motor, and that was near the engine, or the engine malfunctioned or whatever, and it got super hot right there and melted it. And that's why it weakened and blew up and crashed probably, right? But it could be anything. So I would recommend, and you can take it to a university. They'd probably do it for free.
You think so?
Yeah, I think if you took it to a university, they would look at it and tell you what it is.
Okay, well, that's what we'll do. Okay. Well, that's pretty much the interview.
All right, guys. Well, hey, I appreciate it.